today's 3 questions are quite beauty related, surprisingly. And don't forget, if you've got any questions for me, just pop them down in the comments below and maybe they'll end up on another video. I'm Aleksandra Olenska, and I've worked as a creative director and stylist for luxury brands including Chanel, Celine and Vanessa Bruno, as well as magazines including Vogue and Harper's Bazaar. And I've been featured in international press including Forbes, Elle, The Sunday Times and The Independent. I now help directors and leaders in midlife and beyond to rebalance that work, busy lifestyle you've become accustomed to. Because you know life's too short to stay in that career-driven comfort zone. I help you to redesign and restyle your life, especially at midlife with life-changing transitions, such as the breakup of relationship, divorce, menopause, or turning 40 and beyond. From your home and your wardrobe to your mind and social life, I help you with your stylish next chapter to step into your best life, because I know you're ready to rock life again. Today's first question is, what's your favorite perfume? Okay, my favorite fragrance, the one that I always go back to, even if I dilly-dally with others a little bit. I love rose, for example. Gosh, things that smell like rose, and also rose water, I absolutely love, delicious. But aside from my penchant for rose, my favorite fragrance, the one that I always go back to, is Faubourg by Hermes. Some people might consider it a little granny, a little old-fashioned. I like to think of it as classic. I don't know, it just reminds me of good things in my life, and it's a very familiar scent to me. There we go. The second question is related. The second question today is, do you wear the same scent or do you wear a different fragrance for different occasions? Okay, this is a really good question, and actually I speak about this in another video. It's this idea of having like a power perfume. So I have my Faubourg and I have a few others, as well as some rose ones that I use frequently. But sometimes it can be really, really useful because we get used to the smell of our own fragrances. Do you remember when that Santal by Le Labo was really fashionable? And gosh, everybody, especially in New York, it felt like in every bar and every, lovely, cool cafe, you could just smell this delicious fragrance, but then you become accustomed to it when you wear the same fragrance every day. So I do think it's nice to change things up once in a while. And I also think it can be really, really valuable to have a fragrance that you save kind of for when you really need to feel uplifted. So I have this fragrance by the Hotel and Spa Cocky. It is quite rose, sort of fresh feeling. And I just spritz it on in the mid-afternoon when I really need a lift. And I've also got a serum that I put on my face at that time, just to give me that little boost, rather than turning to sugar at 4 o'clock. I turn to fragrance. Gives you that feeling of like zest and vim and vigor again, that sometimes we all need at 4 o'clock, no matter how healthy our diet. You put on your power perfume and you feel ready. It helps you to breathe in deeply, and that just calms down the parasympathetic nervous system, these deep breaths. There's loads of research been done into deep breathing, and we all know that it's really good for us, even if maybe we don't all, including myself, don't do it as much as we could or should. So I find that if I have a fragrance that I just save for like mid-afternoon, or save for my power perfume, I'm not so accustomed to the smell. So when I spritz it on, I do tend to just automatically take some of those deep breaths, and that's going to be really invaluable, especially before a presentation or something important that you need to say. What makeup item can't you live without? Well, of course I can live without any makeup item. I think it's really liberating to be able to just not wear makeup, isn't it? But we all know the uplifting power of some makeup, especially at midlife and beyond. I do have a little BB cream that I wear most days, which has got an SPF in it as well, so I love that from Chanel. But I have to say, it's a bit of a cliche. I mean, I do feel more powerful when and sort of put together when I have a manicure. When I was younger and living in London, it was all about having the chip nail varnish because you didn't want to look like you tried so hard. It gets more and more difficult to get away with that as you get to midlife and beyond. That doesn't mean you can't do it if it's your style identity, But most women, certainly women that I work with, want to feel a bit more put together, that sort of elevated everyday feeling. So I do love a good manicure, and get that done every 2 weeks. quite religiously. But I have to say, if I could only choose one makeup item, it would be a good old lipstick, a lovely like orangey red lipstick. This one that I'm wearing today is from Chanel, but there's a great one from Hermes too, and I love their colourful packaging. Actually, the one that I have is just golden cream, so it's really chic, as you would expect from Hermes. But they also have like colourful ones with like a weirdy turquoisey green and a pinky corally colour. I think Pierre Hardy designed them for Hermes, and they're just beautiful, joyful objects that you love to use. The Chanel one, I heard this story, I don't know if it's true, but I thought it was a great story, and every time I click my my lipstick shut, I think about it. Apparently Karl Lagerfeld, when he was, you know, going through the makeup for Chanel, he loved the sound of an expensive car door closing, and he wanted to have that feeling when you open and close your lipstick. Isn't that great? You know, I'm a big believer in the fact that, you know, things that you have should support you. Things that you have for your home should uplift you. You know, the universe that you create for yourself, your wardrobe should make you feel like your best you, whatever your age, right? And for me, just having a little lipstick in the bottom of my handbag, although I have to confess there's often not just one in there might be 2, 3, 4, or you know, when you empty out your handbag and there's just hundreds in there. If anybody does the same, please let me know. Type yes in the comments below. And there's something quite ritualistic about it as well. And you know, for me, it's all about using style to nurture your soul. So style is an expression of your soul, and it's an act of self-care. And that sort of everyday ritual of putting on the lipstick, I really loved, just as much as I love, you know, being able to go makeup free. I think lipstick can feel quite feminine and empowering and bring that aspect out in you, which for me is an entirely wonderful thing. And of course, it gives you that sense of instant polish, and frankly, that little French je ne sais quoi as well with a little red. I have to say, I've always been a fan of the slightly orangey reds, which are not always the most flattering, but it's just what I love. Et voilà, thank you for watching. Bye bye, à la prochaine.